Well, the last time Sheffield United beat Luton, it was a rare, very rare Jack Robinson goal which won it for them. And this week, the two sides meet again, back down from the Premier League, and they clash at Bramall Lane. We have got three blades to not only talk about that game, but also look back on the Pompey game and talk about just what is going on with Callum O'Hare. Welcome to the quickest and most comprehensive review of all things Sheffield United on the internet. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you're well. Here's 20 minutes of Blades Talk. Still think that is the best song in all of football. Welcome to Where Blades Walk. We have got with us this week, Dan is back. Welcome back, Dan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You?
Yeah, good. Connor is here as well. How are you, Connor?
Not bad, thank you.
Excellent. And we've got our guest reviewer of the Portsmouth game, Shax. How are you, Shax?
I'm all right, mate. You?
Good. Excellent. You can follow all three of these on Twitter as well. We'll put their handles in the description below. And we are looking at the Luton game this weekend as well and asking you all to name the three players that have played for both the Blades and Luton Town. Can you work it out? PPKBKE. We'll give you the answers to that a little bit later on in the video. But let's jump straight into it then. Dan, this should be 3 points for the Blades against Luton. They haven't started well. Discuss.
Not really. I don't really buy that, to be honest. I think that you've got another team, a good squad of players coming down from Premier League. Yeah, they've probably struggled more than what us and Burnley have, but I still think they're a really good side. I think they've got a really good manager, and I still think it'll be a tough fixture. Like I think most of them are in this division, to be fair.
We're recording this before the Swansea game, so we don't know how that's gone, Connor. But in terms of the Portsmouth result, with it being 0-0, what needs to change in attack for you so we see a little bit more creativity and fluidity up top?
I think for me, whilst we've got Arblaster out injured, I would like to see maybe Gus put into the middle alongside Sousa, and then we could try Braksake and Brooks on the wings, because for me, they're the only two proper wingers we've got. And if we can just stretch the defence a bit more and open up that bit more space for people to make them runs for Kiefer Moore to have a bit more room, and natural wide players means hopefully we can get more balls into the box and stop getting Kiefer Moore, he's being dragged out wide too much. And if we can keep him centrally, two natural wingmen, get balls in on his head, he's bound to score goals.
Shax, both Dan and Connor have talked in recent weeks about Kiefer Moore, and Callum O'Hare both are now getting some pelters online for not doing very much. Where do you stand on their all-round game contribution, both of those two?
Well, both lads who were on first have both just took my speech, really. I agree with Dan. I don't think Luton's a foregone conclusion. And then I also agree with Connor that I think at minute we're sort of, how can I say it, we're playing Gus out of position to suit O'Hare, whereas I think two wide men, like Connor said, and then if that means O'Hare has to drop to bench, then I'm all for that. If that means we've got two naturally wide players playing, so that Gus can go back to his central position. Because at minute, I mean, I'm not giving O'Hare pelters online. I'm just saying it as I see it, and I don't see what he is. He's like a poor man's Mark Duffy. That's the best I can describe him. He's playing in that role, but he's not doing what Mark Duffy did, and that for me is going forward. I think that's gonna cause an issue when we've got Brooks, who's one of his own. Started brilliantly last season. He sat on bench watching this guy, and for me, he should be playing.
Okay. Last year in the Premier League, the away side won this. Luton, I think Luton came and won 3-2 at your place. I want to look at the squad. The last time
everybody did that. Everybody come and won at our place.
That is a fair comment, isn't it? But I think you did go to Kenilworth Road and pick up 3 points there, didn't you? Let's look at the side the last time you beat Luton, which is only say 2022. So I want to get a gauge from you all. I'll start with you, Connor, if that's okay. Is this side we're looking at on the screen here weaker or stronger in any area than the side that you saw at Portsmouth?
I mean, I'd probably say forward options, definitely, because obviously Billy Sharp is one of the club greats. Obviously, Iliman Dyer, another one. We're not going to probably see anyone like him again play for us for quite a while. Defensive-wise, you could probably argue pretty solid defence in terms of when we had Bash and Egan, Robinson. Solid, but not so much. Obviously, he's a bit iffy with the odd error in him. Midfield, I'd probably say definitely an improvement, just for the fact that we've got Gus Amer in it and we didn't then. But yeah, I think overall, I think it's fairly even in some respects. Just we've added some, we've also lost some good players. But I'd like to think, especially being at home, having not picked up 3 points in our last away game, that we'd like to definitely make a statement and go for the 3 points against these.
Okay. Shax, is there any players on there that you'd love to have in this squad now?
And then after that, I'm struggling to see anybody there that I think could probably get in this team at the minute. I mean, Basham and Sharp, obviously legends, but at that point in the career, I don't think they'd get in this side now.
Okay. Dan, let's get a score prediction from you then. Sheffield United against Luton this Saturday.
I think it'll be a tight one again. I think I'm going to go 2-1. I think we've just got to find a few goals from somewhere. But we've tightened up this year, which is great. Which is great for us. I think we're very organised. Since Harry Souter and El have gone centre half, I don't think we've conceded. So yeah, I think it'll be a 2-1 win.
Okay. Any advances on 2-1? Connor?
I'd like to think maybe we can keep a clean sheet. I know obviously Souter and El, Cooper, they're all buzzing at the minute. They've started off so well together and we're solid at the back. I think there's only Liverpool and Gillingham in the country that have got a better defence than us. So maybe I'd like to say, I think it'd still be close, but maybe 2-0. Blades.
Okay. And Shax?
I'm going to go a tight 1-0.
Okay. Right. This is controversial, so forgive me, but I'm going to put it out there. There's fans saying you haven't yet had a statement win in this division. You haven't put a team to the sword. You haven't beaten a team convincingly. You might not care about that, but this is an opportunity to put Luton to the sword and knock a few past them. Do you understand where fans come from when they say we've not really kind of shown our teeth yet? This is open question to all of you. You can debate.
I think I don't agree. I don't really think it matters how many you win by or how well you play. It's results driven, and especially for us this year being a young squad, I think it was a statement against Watford. Watford came 100% record, playing really well, and to be honest, they didn't really create much. Derby didn't have a shot on target. I'm not too up for that really statement. If we win 1-0 every week, it gets you to where you want to be, doesn't it? Really, so
Okay.
Yeah,
it's each to their own. But
I thought Preston away on a Friday night on Sky. We'd had an absolute awful season. That's his first competitive game back, and I mean, I went to that game. It was 2-0, but that could have been 15. Do you know what I mean? I thought that was a statement win. So that to me, that would have setting your statement down. Friday night before anybody's played, we were on -2. Worlds against us. I thought that was a statement. So I disagree with that.
Good stuff. All right, then. Before we move on, we're going to look back at the Portsmouth game next and review some of the social media takes on that. Before we do that, any takes on 3 players that have played for both Sheffield United and Luton? Dan, got any of these?
Kevin Blackwell,
absolutely. Yeah, not only did he played for both, he managed both clubs, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did.
Paul Pescasolido.
Pes plus Paul, of course it is. The mighty Paul Pescasolido. And that just leaves KE, probably the hardest of the 3. Put it in the comments below if you've got it. Whoops. No. Well, we'll come back to it at the... Go on. Yeah.
Keith Edwards,
well done, Dan. Pulled that one right out of there. Right, the Pompey game was a 0-0 washout, but what were the positives for the Blades? Let's find out as we rate my take. First of all, the positives with the goalkeeper. Greg Ambler says, I criticised Grabbit last year for not being able to move his feet, so it was like slow motion watching him dive. This guy is the opposite and the real deal. Quick feet, great reactions, good distribution, and he claims crosses literally ticks every box you want from a keeper. Sam Roberts says it's like having Spider-Man in net. It's one of the best signings we've ever made. And Matt says he's showing signs of being the best since Dino. All right then, Shax, how good is Cooper?
It's it's early days, don't get me wrong, but he's looking brilliant. I think the thing what shocks me the most about him is not how good he is, because every Plymouth fan and his mother told us how good he were. It's the fact that we got him for so little. Like, it's in today's market, everything seems to be inflated, massive prices. Like, and to think that we've got him for, I think it was less than £2 million. That's the bit that's the most shocking for me, that he's cost so little. I mean, he looks class, to be fair.
Absolutely. We all thought Kiefer Moore and Callum O'Hare were going to be your best signings, Connor, but no, this one, Cooper probably looks like your best signing so far, doesn't he?
One of, yeah, definitely. And I mean, just the way obviously you can see it in the way our defence has been. We've got the best defence in the league. It just seems so much calm, obviously, compared to last season, watching Wes fumble ball in net all the time, and if not, we're watching Gribic just, I'm not really sure what he was trying to do when he was playing. So yeah, it's nice it's just nice thinking we don't even have to think about goal. We ain't got to worry about it. We just know Cooper's there. He's calm. He's collected. He organises the defence well, and you can just tell the defence are happy that he's there, and they're comfortable to just play their game, play it back to him if they need. And I think that is a major. Since basically we lost Dean Henderson, it's something we've been struggling to replace. And I think
100%.
Cooper really is that sort of player that he can go on and get that sort of love from the fans that Henderson did when he was with us.
Okay. Dan, Portsmouth fans said Sheffield United were comfortably the worst fans to visit Fratton Park this season. They sung one song about Wednesday and then silence. This also came out last week. Derby fans saying that when they went to Bramall Lane that there was silence there as well. Is this something that you're noticing when you're going to games, that people are just have that aren't bringing the passion yet to the stands? I mean, you can't blame fans given what they went through last season, but is it quiet?
I think I've noticed it. Yeah, definitely at Bramall Lane. I don't know if there's an apprehension from last year or there's an expectant on us to do well, but yeah, I do think that. I thought the fans were really good at Preston, to be fair. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on that, but yeah, especially where I sit at Bramall Lane, you can really only hear the cop every now and again. But yeah, I'm not sure why. I'd like the raucous nights of when we played West Brom at home and got promoted, and those sorts of nights or days to come back. But I think that'll happen in time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Fair enough. Shax, Alex says, I love Sousa, but he cannot be our captain. And then there was some bits here about him losing the toss and putting you facing directly into the sun the second half rather than partly in the sun in the first half. I mean, it's a small thing, but where do you stand on your captaincy?
I'm a Sousa fan. I've got to say I'm a Sousa fan. I mean, I'm prepared to go out on my shield, as I say, because these guys might not like him, but I've always been a Sousa fan. I think last season, I mean, I hear people say, oh, he down tools, he does a lot of pointing, blah, 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 blah. Oliver Norwood's classed as a legend, and that guy did a lot of pointing. Last season, I could name probably three what didn't down tools. Everybody did it. He's a young lad. He's come from another country, and I think he can be captain material. I think he's a leader. He's a talker. He's a big lad. He's obviously come from a good background, and I think he can be a captain. And he's not the captain as such. That's Jack Robinson, but he's obviously injured. It would then probably be Arblaster. He's injured. So, I mean, as a standing captain rather than a captain, I think, yeah, why not? I think he's a good player, and I think he's a leader. Plays in the right position for me. I always like centre mids to be captains. I think you've got everything going off around you rather than stuck out in a certain position, either up front, like whatever. But yeah, I like Sousa. I'm a fan.
Okay. And then finally, Connor, Seven Seas of Rye says, good point, absolutely nothing up top. O'Hare just blows around the pitch. Our keeper and defence were absolutely brilliant. All in all, it was a good point away. And Nat says, not a bad point away, but we seriously need to improve going forwards, amongst other points as well. We've talked a little bit about O'Hare. What's going on with him for you, Connor?
I think there's a collective of things. It's not just one specific thing. I mean, obviously, the main thing for him is if he's not linking up well with Gus, he tends to not be on it as much. Obviously, they have that great partnership together. But I think one of the things is, obviously, with Kiefer Moore being up top, does he need a partner with him? Do we need to maybe slightly alter the formation, have Bruce or Campbell up top with him, give him someone to have them flick-ons on, and maybe we could bench one of the players, bring Gus into the middle, giving them options sort of thing. And it's definitely something we need to look at changing up front. Like I said previously about maybe trying Brooks and Raksake as, like I say, Raksake, especially against Portsmouth, that was one of his best games he's had for us. It was really unlucky not to have at least got one assist with Gus's header. That was a great save, to be fair. But yeah, I think if we've got them options, because I think at the minute Brooks is playing too well to be on the bench, and I think if we can get them in, it maybe might give O'Hare a new lease of life, that he can have these options of these players going down the wings, and he doesn't have to wait about. He can send these balls over. But we definitely need to change something up top just to add that bit of flair, that bit of creativity. Because obviously we relied heavily on Ndiaye last time, and it seems we're relying way too much on Gus to come up with a moment of magic than these simple tap-ins and everything that you see these teams get. We just never seem to get them at the moment.
Okay. All right, 3 quick ones before we finish. Any more Portsmouth reflections before we move on from anyone?
I think Harrison Burrows, I think he deserved a good shot. I felt he was unreal again, and I think he's only getting better as the season goes on.
Absolutely. I saw a lot of comments around
I just think just quickly, as Chris Wilder touched on yesterday, the squad's very young, and I think it's going to take time. And I partly agree with what the lads have said about Callum O'Hare, but I think again it's going to take time with him as well. He's one of them players that's come with high expectations, but maybe it does need a little tweak up there. Maybe Tyrese Campbell coming in. You can potentially look at Ryan Brewster coming in, who it seems like they like to play on the wings or whatever. But yeah, I think I like the look of Femi Siriki, to be fair. When he comes on, it's a little bit different to Gilchrist. Gives us another option. Yeah, so we've got a very good squad going forward.
Okay. All right, 3 quick ones then. Defensive midfielders. Dan, with you. This is where we're up to in our run through. Who are the best 2?
I'm not really going to put Gus as a defensive midfielder, to be fair.
Either would I, but yeah.
I think if everybody fit, I think, and on past experience, I'd probably go Vinny Sousa, Tom Davies. That might surprise a few people, but I think Davies did well at Everton and played in Premier League most of his career, so when he's fit.
Okay. As an Everton fan, I could comment on that, but we are going to be short on time. But next week, maybe I'll come back to that one. Shaq's September Player of the Month will be upon us soon. Who gets your vote?
I'm going to go Harry Souttar. I think he stepped up. There's a few others what it'd be easy to say. Like obviously they stand out a bit more, but Aimer obviously with his goals, Cooper with his clean sheets. But I think having watched that defence struggle continuously for the last 15, 16, 17 months, I think with an L in it also, I think Souttar's coming as just a breath of fresh air. I think he's a brick wall, talks to everybody around him, gets his head on everything, blocks everything. He can carry ball out of defence. I mean, for me, I'd go Harry Souttar. I don't know if you would agree, but that's what I'd go for.
It's a great shout. Yeah, nodding your head there, Connor. I can see you.
Yeah, I think to be fair, I think there's a few options, isn't there? You could go with maybe Souttar, you could go maybe Cooper, obviously Gus because of his goals. And I think Andre Brooks. I think he's impressed a lot of people since the start of the season. So I think there's an handful of players you can give it to, but you can't really complain which one you go for.
All right, and finally then, Connor, I just want to share this one. Andy Butler says, stick your Premier League. I had a great day out at Pompey, Sheffield United. Just the antidote to the League of Greed. 2 proper sets of fans, no tourists or selfie sticks, proper football in a proper ground with a proper atmosphere. Never change, lads. It's good for the soul. Can we all nod our head along, get along with that?
Most definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pompey and Sheffield United, absolutely good for the soul. Right, even if it was 0-0. Referee as well. Just a quick word on that. Absolute garbage from what I've seen of. The highlights don't show much, but he ruined the game, Dan, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I think the hardest part is the other 2 lads might disagree, but I know VAR was a big thing last year. But if you look at the Norwich goal yesterday, it's certainly something. The first Norwich goal, it's certainly something we do need in the Championship. I don't know. They don't get no help, do they? But I think the officiating as you get lower gets worse.
No,
So it's a potential to. Yeah, you're probably right. We don't like it, but the things like the Norwich goal, it stops it, doesn't it? Really.
No, you don't need VAR for that. You just need a competent linesman, don't we?
Well.
Right, we are out of time anyway. Thank you so much again for watching. We really appreciate all your views, all your comments. Please keep them coming in. We'll see these 3 and other guests as we go through the season. 20 minutes of Blades Talk. Listen to it on your way to work. Download it from Spotify. Watch us on YouTube. We'll see you next week when we've got 2 games to review next week. We'll see how you've gone on against Luton and Swansea. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week, everyone.